NCAA basketball for Sunday, November 27th. We're going to look at 3 games on today's card. We're going to look at the totals, of course, as our NCAA total segment. We're not going to have an NBA total segment today, but we'll get back on that on Monday. It's been kind of even with the NBA, but college is going okay. So let's see if we can continue that today. Don't forget to check out SBR for all the lines, all the numbers, all the sports books sign up bonuses, the blacklist, sports books to avoid, and sportsbook reviews to find out, which are the best sportsbooks to join, the more reputable ones. So it's all there at SBR. Be sure to check out our website. Let's get to today's games. We got 3 of them on the card right now. Let's start with UAB and St. Mary's. We're going to go in order of time. Through all these 3 games, by the way, they're all going to be on the under. I'm taking the under in all these games here. Let's talk about this matchup here. UAB, St. Mary's, the odds makers have it at 140.5, and I'm going under. UAB is averaging 75.6 points per game. They got everybody back. So Haas, he went to Stanford. That's going to be another game I'm going to cover. But they had everybody coming back. And that's a really good Alabama-Birmingham team. St. Mary's is also going to be very tough this year in the WCC. Sorry, I digress. UAB is averaging 75.6 points per game. St. Mary's is averaging 83.2. Right there, we got, looks like a high-scoring affair. But odds makers have set at 140.5 for a reason. Let's look at some defensive statistics here. St. Mary's is allowing just 64 points per game, UAB 71.6. That's not great. However, statistically, the matchup is really good here because you got St. Mary's. They're allowing opponents to shoot just 42.4%. That's good. UAB shoots about 44.5%. So they should be able to get enough stops in that fashion. But the key matchup today is St. Mary's are so efficient. They rank second in the country, shooting 64.7% on their 2-point shots. But UAB has been one of the better teams in the country, allowing opponents just 42.5% on their 2-point shots and just around 40% overall in opponent shooting percentages. They've also faced Kansas, so they're not going to see anything new here from a St. Mary's team. Although talented, they're not Kansas. Tempo-wise, I don't think they're going to get there. The key tempo matchup for me is St. Mary's, what they allowed to what UAB gets up per game. UAB is averaging 53.4 attempts per game. That's low. St. Mary's, they're allowing just 51.2. That's really good. That ranks 23rd in the country. Also, UAB, they don't shoot a lot of threes. They're more of an interior team, and they're decently efficient, and they're pretty good overall. But for the most part, I think UAB is going to be able to stop St. Mary's enough. And, conversely, St. Mary's going to be able to do it the same against UAB. It's on a neutral floor in Las Vegas, but 140.5, it seems like it should be over, or it seems like the number should be bigger, but there's a good reason why it's just right at that, and I'm going to go under that total. This is going to be a hard-fought game here. Two good teams. All right, next game we got up, Stanford and Seton Hall. I looked at this one for a while, and I know I say that from time to time because some games, the matchups are so good. I really want to dig into the numbers and see, what's going to happen. Right now, oddsmakers have it at 149, and Seton Hall's been scoring like crazy. But I'm going to, again, like I've said already, I'm going to go under this total. Stanford, now Haas, I just talked about UAB. He's at Stanford now, and surprisingly enough, because of their personnel, he wants to go up tempo, but their personnel doesn't dictate that. They're going to go at a decent pace, and they're going to play great defense, and that's what they've been doing. And Kevin Willard at Seton Hall, he has no problem playing tough D. But we look at Seton Hall's their games this season, and they've been pretty much over this total every game. Yeah, every game except for one. And that was a home game against Central Connecticut, who's not any good, who only scored 58 points. So, 149, it seems like it actually kind of seems low, but it's not. Let's look at some numbers here. Stanford, they're allowing 69.5 points. They're scoring 69.5 points per game. Seton Hall is averaging 86 points per game. Seton Hall's allowing 74.2. Stanford's allowing just 61. Stanford's going to have to play great defense because Seton Hall is really efficient, and I think they're going to be able to do it. This is a good Stanford team. They've been playing hard so far this year. I mean, gosh, they've what are they? They're 5-1 with one loss being to Miami. That was a tough game as well. Stanford, they're shooting just 43.3% from the field. That's not great. Seton Hall, they're defending really well, 41.7% overall in opponent shooting percentage. That's really good. Then we got Stanford. Here's the key matchup tonight. Seton Hall's super efficient. They're shooting 51% from the floor. That's super good. But Stanford's allowing just 36.9%. That ranks 21st in the country. And they're going to have to play great tonight. They're also allowing just 20.3 field goals made per game against them. That ranks 17th. Now, Seton Hall has been an offensive machine. They've played some up, but if we look at their games, that Florida game, I thought that was kind of an anomaly where they ended up losing 76-81. This game seems more like that, but I don't think Stanford can score as well as Florida. That's why I think it's going to stay under the 149. But they played inside they played Florida. Outside that game, the one they just played and the one before that, they played Quinnipiac, if I'm saying that right. I believe I am. And the M, they're from the MAAC. I think that's the Mid-Atlantic Conference. They used to be a really good rebounding team, but that team gets up and down. So that was a high-scoring affair. Then they played Iowa prior to that. I'm talking about Seton Hall now, and that's an up-down affair. We know we're going to get that with Fran McCaffrey. But Stanford has been really good defensively, and they're not pushing any sort of tempo. I mean, they're not allowing a lot of assists. Seton Hall could play great defense. I think it's going to stay under 149. They're going to score, but I just don't think they're going to get to 149. Okay, and we got the last one up. And I looked at this one for a while too. Talk about two conflicting styles. Texas A&M and UCLA, arguably the best game of the day. UCLA has been scoring out of their minds, but defensively they haven't been bad percentage-wise. Tempo, they've been just getting up and down. But you look at the competition they played. Now they're facing Texas A&M, arguably the best defensive team in the SEC. Arguably. Billy Kennedy does a fantastic job. Let's break down some numbers here. We got Texas A&M. They're averaging 74.8 points per game. UCLA is averaging 100. They rank first in the country in points scored per game. They've been getting up and down. Odds makers have this total 150.5. That's the lowest total I've seen on a UCLA game this year, and they have not been under this total in 6 games. I think it happens today because Texas A&M matches up really well with them, and they play great defense. And I think they're going to assist at controlling the tempo. They could score a little bit too. If they can run with UCLA, and if they do, it's going to go over. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to grind it out with them, and they're more of an interior team than a three-point shooting team. Let's talk some more numbers. We got UCLA. They're allowing just 76.7 points per game. That's not bad considering how much they're scoring. Texas A&M, they're allowing just 60 points per game. That ranks 18th in the country. UCLA, they're shooting 55.8% from the field. That ranks 2nd in the country. Their numbers are ridiculous. They're like 1 and 2 across the board. Texas A&M, though, they're allowing opponents to shoot just 35%. That ranks 10th. This is a really good Texas. This will be the best team UCLA has played so far. Easily. Just look at their, go ahead and look at all the teams they played. The best team arguably they played is Nebraska, in which they won 82-71. I don't know if they can beat Texas A&M. We'll see. This is going to be a really good game. But the Aggies can play some flat-out D. UCLA, not bad either. Percentage-wise, they're allowing opponents to shoot just 43.2% from the field. That's pretty good. Excuse me, no, that's wrong. 41.1% from the field. They're allowing 43.2% on opponents' two-point shooting, which matches up really well with Texas A&M, who shoots 55% from the interior. Well, two-point shots, just over 55%. So that matches up really well because Texas A&M, they're not a three-point shooting team. They average making 6 3-pointers per game, which ranks 263 in the country. Ranks well in the bottom of the country. So I don't think these guys are going to get out and run that much. I think UCLA has got some tough matchups. They might win this game. That's a really talented Bruins team, but this is going to be a fantastic matchup of teams of conflicting styles, and I think it's going to stay under the 150.5. I think there's a reason why odds makers have this number lower than any score UCLA has had this season. So I'm going to back the under. 3 unders for the day. All right, quick recap. We got UAB St. Mary's under the 140.5, Stanford Seton Hall under the 149, and Texas A&M UCLA under the 150.5. Those are my NCAA basketball totals, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts and shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.